And we back. Now, it's been a minute since we did an NBA chain reaction video, so we're changing that right now as we do one today. Now, if you're new to the channel, you don't know what these are, we're taking a quiz where question 1 correlates with question number 2, and question 2 correlates with 3, and 3 to 4, and all the way down the line until we get to the very last question. So it is a chain reaction. But the best or the worst part about this is if you get just one wrong, you got to start over from the beginning. And the way we do things on this channel, we will not rest until we finish with a 100%. Sometimes it can be first try, sometimes it can be a lot worse depending on how hard the questions are for the video. So let's head over to it. So as you can see, this one has 87 questions, which is pretty decent. That's a decently length chain reaction quiz. Again, if we get question number 86 wrong, we got to start all the way over. So we always try to grind these out as thoroughly as possible. As you can see at the bottom, we haven't played it just yet. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get into it. Wow. Yep, that is 87 choices. So click the NBA to start. Who is on the logo? That will be, of course, Jerry West. And this is the one thing I love about some of these chain reactions videos is when it's in alphabetical order, it makes it so much easier for me to find names. What team did he play for? So, of course, it's number 2. Correlates with number 3, so we just picked Jerry West for number 2. So number 3, we're talking about him, and we're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. Y'all see how it goes now. Who is the only Laker player with 2 retired jersey numbers? That is, of course, the Bean Kobe Bean Bryant, with 24 and 8 being retired. Which of the following teammates also has his number retired by the Lakers? I'm guessing we talking Shaq, because Powell hasn't had his number retired. Maybe they will someday, but nah. Shaq is immediately done, and it has been. What team was he traded to from the Lakers? That'll be, of course, the Miami Heat. Ended up winning a championship there, too. How many championships do they have? So they have the 2 with LeBron in the big 3, and then the 1 with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal and Gary Payton. So 3 total championships for the city of Miami, which is pretty good if you ask me. Who was their finals MVP in 2006? That'll be Dwayne Wade. According to Charles Barkley, Dwayne Wade carried Shaq to that championship. And if you look at the numbers, Dwayne Wade did average like 38 points per game in their playoffs, or at least in the finals. And Shaq averaged like 12. So you know you can decide if he got carried or not. But Dwayne Wade is there. And in 2012-2013, that will be, of course, the King LeBron James and the 2 championships they won in Miami together. LeBron always was the MVP. Both of these players were drafted in what year? The 2003 draft class was one of the greatest. The second pick of this draft was not so great, and it's Darko Milicic. You know, if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, you may not feel great about that, but you know what y'all did do? Y'all won a championship afterwards. Now, would it have been better if y'all had Melo instead of Darko? Probably, but you won a championship, so you can't complain too much. Picked by what team? Like we mentioned, that would be the Detroit Pistons, right there, who started in the 2004 playoffs over him at power forward. Okay, so Detroit Pistons in 2004. You had Chauncey, you had Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace. So the answer to this is Rasheed Wallace. He played like half the regular season there. Obviously, he got traded at the trade deadline. Ended up playing in the playoffs and getting a ring. Who shared the last name with teammate Ben Wallace, as we mentioned earlier, who played where after Detroit. He came to Chicago. We gave him a lot of money. He didn't necessarily play incredibly, but he's got a place in our hearts here in the shot. So there. Who is their blocks leader? I mean, it's a Chicago Bulls question. That's going to be Artis Gilmore. Who played where after Chicago? The San Antonio Spurs. Who have had how many players with Defensive Player of the Year awards? Okay, so we have the Admiral, Kawhi Leonard, and Alvin Robertson. So three of those there. Who is the only one to win multiple? That would be Kawhi Leonard. Of course, we need Kawhi back on the court, man. I miss watching him play. It's been close to a year basically, because I know he only played 9 games this regular season. So we're gonna say he missed the entire season, right? What year did he win Finals MVP? We're talking about Kawhi Leonard, of course. That would be 2014. Who was the first pick in that draft? Wiggins. Who did he get traded to shortly after being drafted? LeBron says, ship that man out to Minnesota. We want Kevin Love. And that's exactly what they did. Who is their all-time leading scorer? That would be, of course, Kevin Garnett. And he won a championship with the Boston Celtics. What team was he traded to from Boston? That would be the Brooklyn Nets. And that steal, Danny Ainge got all those draft picks and stuff. Wow, what a great deal now in hindsight. Who was their all-time leader in assists? That would be Jason Kidd. who coached the Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks just this last season. You know, he got fired, but he was there. What player was Kidd's teammate and was coached by him on the Bucks? Okay, all you gotta do is look through this list. Who played for the Bucks during the time that Jason Kidd was there? It was Jason Terry. There we go. See, you know, you just look at our options. Who shares the nickname the Jet with? Of course, Kenny the Jet Smith. Who won 2 finals with what team? The Houston Rockets. All-time three-point leader, James Harden. You know, he just got that maybe a year or two ago now. But you know James Harden is a three-point king. One of the three-point. No, he's not three-point king. Steph Curry's a three-point king, but James Harden is up there too. Who was drafted by the OKC Thunder, who were previously the Seattle Supersonics. Who is their only all-star that went to UConn. Talk about the Supersonics here. So let's look at this list again. A player that played for UConn and went to, or played for the Supersonics and went to UConn. So we have Dale Ellis here. Played for the Supersonics, did not go to UConn. Ray Allen. You went to UConn, end up rocking that Husky, right? It is the Huskies out there. He was considered one of the original Splash Brothers with, of course, Rashad Lewis, man. That team, I won't forget it, man. That team was nice. He had a 6-year, $118 million contract around 2008 from what team? That'll be Orlando Magic. And their all-time leading scorer is Dwight Howard. Their all-time leading scorer in Orlando is Dwight Howard. I'm 100% positive about that. So if we go down to the comment section here, it says the career scoring leader of the Orlando Magic is wrong. The person you have as the leader is actually second. So we were right. You know, we were right with Dwight Howard. The creator of this quiz accidentally made it Nick Anderson. So we're going to pick Nick Anderson here and keep going with the quiz. So if we are, hey, if you ask me, we ain't failed yet because we were the ones that were right, not the quiz creator. But nonetheless, Nick Anderson. What number did he wear on the Magic? I think he wore the number 25. Same number as a former Dallas Mavericks player from 2011 to 2014. You think this is going to stop me, man? It's Vince Carter, baby. Who won a dunk contest for what team? The Toronto Raptors. Their all-time leading scorer is DeMar DeRozan, and he's still going strong. And he probably will. You know, he may get traded this offseason. It's possible after what happened in the playoffs, but probably not. What year was he drafted? 2009. The first overall pick in this draft was the Blake Griffin draft. Then Hashem the Beat was number 2. The 2009 draft class wasn't that bad. We've had some bad draft classes recently in the 2000s, but that wasn't one of them. By who? Clippers. They got rid of their previous owner, blank, due to racial comments. It would be Donald Sterling, but we don't talk about that guy around here. Their highest paid player in 2008 was point guard. All right, here he is. We just got to look for a point guard that played for the Clippers in 2008. And my mouse pad is already on it, or my mouse is already on it. Baron Davis. Where did he play before the Clippers? He was a part of the Golden State Warriors. In 2015, who was the Warriors Finals MVP? That's the Iggy year. Of course, it's Iggy's year. In 2012, he was an all-star for what team? 2012, Iggy was on the Philadelphia 76ers. That was his last year on Philly, and then he went to Denver, and he wasn't an all-star after that, but Philly was his all-star year. Who did they draft first in 1996? This was my birth year, and one of my favorite players was drafted here, and that will be Allen Iverson, Mr. AI. The 76ers have two, I think they mean 2 as in the number, Rookie of the Year winners in history, Allen Iverson and Michael Carter Williams, or there'll probably be 3. You know, Ben Simmons may win Rookie of the Year in June once we get the votes in, but Michael Carter Williams. What college did he play for? Of course, Syracuse. In 2003, one player was drafted out of Syracuse. Who was it? That would be Melo. To what team? The Denver Nuggets. Whose all-time three-point shooter or three-pointer is? It's the Henny God. Yeah. It's J.R. Smith, baby. J.R. Smith is their all-time three-point leader. J.R. Smith got a record. It's not about how many shots a hand he's done. It's about three-point shooting. It's crazy. Who got suspended for throwing soup and who? Damon Jones. Yes, that was just a couple months ago. Jones went to what college? You thought. Play my clip, man. You know that I have a special skill of knowing what colleges like 94.5% of the NBA went to. I don't know why. It just always sticks. I see them in a college jersey and I remember it for the rest of my life. So it's a gift. And even players like Damon Jones don't get forgotten. Houston. Same as Hall of Famer by the nickname The Glide. That would be Clyde the Glide Drexler. On what team did he spend majority of his career? That would be, of course, the Portland Trail Blazers. They have one championship. Who's their Finals MVP? Bill Walton. He also has a Sixth Man of the Year award from back when he was in Boston. Who was just starting above him at center? So that was the mid-'80s, and the guy for the Boston Celtics, at least the center for the Boston Celtics around the mid-'80s, was Robert Parrish. Easy. In Boston, what number did Parrish wear? I think he always wore the number 00. Yeah, that's right. Same with what player that was recently banned by the NBA. Who was banned? Oh, OJ Mayo. I used to love OJ Mayo, man. It sucks that he can't play in the NBA. Or I think his ban has a certain amount of time, so technically it's a suspension. But maybe one day he'll be back, but I doubt it because when he was in there, lastly, he wasn't that great. I don't know. Who played his first game and what team? That would be, of course, the Memphis Grizzlies, the team that, I don't know if they drafted him, but that's where he was on opening night. Who have one Defensive Player of the Year, won by, of course, Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year, but wasn't on first team all defense. How, Sway? I don't know. His teammates are their all-time leader in games played. That would be Mike Conley, who went to what college? Ohio State. Who is the only player from Ohio State drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks? Oh, Michael Redd, baby. A lot of people forget about Michael Redd. He was a premier scorer, man. What year was his only All-Star appearance? Obviously 2004, because he wasn't playing in 1989. So 2004. Who's the first pick in the 2004 draft? Oh, Dwight Howard, easily. In 2018, what team did he play for? Charlotte Hornets. They are owned by former NBA player and great Michael Jordan. How many championships? You know the give. He's, the six rings. And only one of these teammates won all 6 with him. Of course, boy Scotty, right hand man. What number did Scotty wear? 33, same as Celtics great Larry Bird. And in 1988, be what player in the three-point shootout with a warm-up jacket on? Okay. The only thing that makes sense here is Dale Ellis, because Dale Ellis was actually a really good three-point shooter, and he played in the late 80s. So that's the only one that makes sense. So Dale Ellis, yes. What year was he an All-Star? Well, there's only 1 year left, so it's got to be that one. In 1989, who was the first pick in the draft? It's not George Gervin. George Gervin's older than that. It's got to be whoever Purvis Ellenson is. Honestly, I've been an NBA fan for so many years. Don't even know who this guy is. So he had to be a bust, right? Number 1 draft pick, and I don't know who he is. Picked by what team? Okay, 1989. It can't be the Knicks, because the Knicks were good around that time, right? 1989. It can't be the Knicks because the Knicks were good around 1989. So it has to be the Sacramento Kings. Yes, let's go, man. Because again, if we would have got that wrong, we got to start all the way over, fellas. The Kings' leader in three-pointers is who? Peja Stojakovic. And in 2002, he played with this PG, Mike Bibby. In the Big 3 basketball, his coach is Iceman George Gervin, the owner or the creator of the finger roll. What number did he wear? 44. 2018 is drafted 44th. That will be Damon Dotson, New York Knicks. And we're done. If you ask me, I got a perfect score because the one we did get wrong was technically right. The quiz creator got it wrong. So thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave it a like. Go back and watch the video I dropped yesterday. I guess many of you guys did not watch it, but it was one of my favorite videos I ever created. I'll put a time card at the end of it and go back and the camera turned off. Okay, well, you know what I'm trying to say. Peace.
Purple sky 4:44 a.m. About to burn this J, get some Z's. Country fat band, set my pants, shut it dance, pop it like she